keep your white ass at your white home with your bland food, because you cannot go to other communities and want everything they got and still go back to your caucasity. So, Joe, with that being said, you see, I get so emotional and riled up over this. And I think to some point we all have to, because we can't just be quiet and complacent. There's ways to fight. There's many ways to fight. You don't always have to be as passionate as me. Maybe you're doing it behind closed doors to fight and bring up our communities. But how is it that we can keep ourselves from moving backwards when it comes to racial integration in America? What can we do?
What I've always said is we have to stay in the lane of authenticity, right? What are your core values? Understanding and knowing what your core values are, and then not making decisions that go against those core values. So if your core values aren't in alignment with, whatever this thing they got going on is over there, then you don't need to be concerned. Um, we can't depend or rely on the United States government, who has historically and systematically decided that we're not going to be a part of whatever plan they have going on, to do whatever it is that we need to get done. But so yet and still, there are plenty of communities and Black people as individuals who have thrived, right? And that's because well, some of them get the cooning and selling out, but the ones that don't get the cooning and selling out just stay true to who they are, and saying, focus on the reality of what you're dealing with. So expand your capacity to deal with the world that's presented in front of you, and you will more than likely be fine. There's going to be some difficult things. There's going to be some hard times. There's definitely going to be some unfairness. But if you know and understand that, then you can still make life do what it do for you. You know what I'm saying?
So we need to check ourselves, right? Check in with ourselves and check ourselves,
Hmm.
because we don't also want to do the same thing within our households behind closed doors that they're doing too. That never solves the problem, but we do want to make sure that we take care of one another, right? So we got two more stats I want to look at, and I don't want you guys to prepare. We have really had a very spirited conversation. After the stats, I am going to be calling for final thoughts. So let's check these out and then we'll move forward. A Pew Research Center study found that 66% of Black Americans report having experienced discrimination, while 45% of white Americans say they are concerned about discrimination against their race. This points to ongoing racial tensions and divides in society. I want to know what year that was put out. Very interesting. I'm going to look that one up. Let's look at some of the comments that were actually from that original video. It's honestly sad how far people will go to feel superior. I don't give a if they want to live separate. I want them to be well. But I was raised in the children of God in cloistered compounds that separation is what gave them cover to abuse us kids. That's what I am worried about. Now, we touched on that a little earlier, right? And Freya said, I was way too naive to believe my generation would be the change, and this would no longer be an issue. It's insane these people grow up and still believe that they somehow superior due to the color of their skin.